हिपहपमा चाहिँ everybody's like a misfit के what do you want to be known as now के हिपहपको सिन नेपालमा बवाल छ
बवाल भइरहेको छ मेरो गोली जस्तो बोली
how do you make yourself entertaining is the first question as a rapper सबैजनाको डिफरेन्ट हुन्छ जस्तै कि V10 is controversy हैन Yama Buddha was a social message type of person Dong is energy तर we need to create filtered and distilled versions of hip hop के a lot of brands don't even know what you're talking about okay very honest
किन नेपाली ब्रान्ड्सहरुले चाहिँ युट्युब एड्सहरुलाई चाहिँ लेभरेज गरेर राखेन
exactly bro
इन्डियामा इट्स क्रेजी के हिप हपमा चाहिँ टिकटेड सिन कस्तो छ पीपल
ticketing
टिकट काटेर हेर्न आउने टाइपको
you have to have a niche otherwise it's doomed I think Nepal's biggest export can be art you know we need to be confident in our own skin that's what it matters and like Gangnam style buja छ र हामीले we still what is Gangnam bro like हुन्छ नि त्यो presentation चाहिँ बवाल हुनु पर्यो
प्रेजेन्टेसन हो है प्याकेजिङ भयो
oh we need a packaging के we need to create one Nepal के one Nepal को identity त्यो brand चाहिँ हुनु पर्यो के इन्डियाको पावर हाउस जस्तो हुनु मन छ हैन so if you're a passionate person if you're passionate about something you can do it in Nepal nobody can tell you otherwise के
अनि ट्रेन्ड फलो गर्ने युथले नै हो
अब there I know friends who are like amazing talented people who are like oh I'll go type okay I think the media consumption is also the part के where like people are trying to go outside हुन्छ नि
और यहाँ चाहिँ हामीले त्यस्तो मिडिया क्रिएट गर्न सकेर
exactly
हैन स्वागत छ ब्रो डुवर्समा
thank you so much for having me today
यस्तो इन्फर्मल फर्मल यस्तो क्याचअपमा चाहिँ हाउ डु यु लाइक पिपल एड्रेसिङ यु OMG Spark or सक्षम श्रेष्ठ
well it depends if people know me from work I prefer Spark just Spark not like yeah some people
OMG चाहिँ के हो साइड छुट पछि आको
OMG पछि थप्या मैले it's been 2-3 years since I like the OMG भनेर राखे चाहिँ तर some people call me OMG पनि
okay
some people call me Spark a lot of people call me Spark Saksham भनेको चाहिँ those who know me from like मेरो music सँग related अब भन्ने भए friends family हैन like मेरो network social circle हरूले चाहिँ Saksham भन्छ but then a lot of people call me Spark even like Arvind Dai at Break Station calls me Spark हैन so like मेरो like hip hop or like music field मा चाहिँ मलाई Saksham भन्दै भने you kind of feel weirded out it's like it's kind of personal too so I prefer like anything like just what's high na
त्यो उ वाला हो क्या like because when I see you a blend of art and entrepreneurship के
yeah I try to balance those things
entrepreneurship side मा चाहिँ सक्षम art side मा चाहिँ it's Spark
एकदमै that's it that's what
right spot हो
एकदमै अब तपाईले मलाई सक्षम भन्नु because like we've worked before in like the projects and सक्षम it makes sense तर अब अरविन्द दाइ like एकासी मलाई सक्षम भने it's going to feel like be like nah दाइ I'm Spark yo टाइपको हुन्छ नि so त्यही हो like usually like every day चाहिँ Spark ए भन्छ मलाई
I like how it's been 5 years since म हिप हपमा ब्रेक स्टेसनमा इन्भल्भ हुन थालेको हैन अनि I like the fact that people rebrand themselves with a new name के
एकदमै
हैन
it happens a lot in hip hop
exactly mostly in hip hop
mostly in hip hop
मैले अरु हुनु त होला अरु ठाउँमा हैन
पेन नेमहरु हुन्छ मान्छेहरु
exactly would it be a stupid question if I ask you why does that happen kina why do people rebrand themselves with a new name
I think there's this I mean like हुर्क्यो बढ्यो हैन like you're given a name like it's any Saksham हैन अनि hip hop मा चाहिँ there's this identity you have to create हुन्छ नि just like I feel like hip hop मा चाहिँ everybody's like a misfit के
okay
हैन so like
what do you
what do you want to be known as now okay now that you have a new opportunity to be a new person okay हुन्छ नि so I feel that's why people have pen names हुन्छ नि it's like since then I changed myself and I want to be this भन्ने खालको के
अनि आफैले राख्नु त हो नि हैन
sometimes आफैले राख्छ sometimes people मान्छेहरुले राखिदिन्छ हैन
पनि चेन्ज पनि गर्छ पछि मान्छेले
गर्छ and they want to it's like sometime business could be यो नाम अनि अब no there's some problem with the name भन्यो business ले नाम चेन्ज गर्छ नि so I think it's similar to that
okay nice
हैन
यो अघि के वाला कुरामा चाहिँ आर्ट भर्सेस आर्ट एन्ड एन्टरप्रेन्योरशिप वाला कुरामा चाहिँ you are an entrepreneur, you do you post production side ko kura, you empowering artists through back end ko kuraharu huncha ni. You do that, and you do that as a service.
Yeah.
त्यसलाई चाहिँ के हो अझ more to be more specific, beat producer,
Music producer.
music producer, त्यसमा चाहिँ के इन्भल्भ भयो?
Music production ma recording, instrumentations, mixing, mastering, तपाईको anything, basically creating music out of nothing, scratch बाट हुन्छ नि.
अनि beat producer पनि त्यसभित्रै पर्यो है?
It's kind of different.
A bit different. कसरी different भयो?
So beat producer is like strictly hip hop. I say there's beat producer. For example, me, I work for songs outside hip hop. And I sometimes make jingles for ads. I sometimes do different kinds of songs from various genres. So that requires me to do everything from scratch, while a beat producer not scratch so their beat producer use samples that are not played by them.
So you also play a role of beat producer rappers ko लागि हैन?
Yeah, I do. There's two approaches in making a beat, okay, basically. One will be you do everything out of scratch, from the scratch, okay? So you play the guitars, you play the drums, everything one by one, and you create this song. And the beat producer approach is more like you get a loop of the drums, you get a sample of the keyboard or the guitar, and they just like use it, they source it from different parts, okay? Beat producer and as it they source their sounds from different areas. So it's like I usually do both of them, like, but then I like to call myself more of a musician rather than a beat maker or a like music producer. So because of the things that I do to my songs or the stuff that I'm affiliated to.
Powerhouse लाग्छ यार bro art ko, because you're a rapper. You write stuff.
I write stuff.
तिमी आफै गाउँछौ हैन? I think rap outside पनि तिमी vocal गर्छौ जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई चाहिँ हैन?
गर्छु
हैन? त्यसपछि तिमी beat पनि produce गर्छौ, music पनि produce गर्छौ, mixing and mastering पनि गर्छौ. It's like end to end नै भयो हैन?
Also, I do video editing, I do coloring, I do everything in this multimedia. Multimedia ma चाहिने skills हरु चाहिँ I think I do pretty much all of it.
किन नेपालमा चाहिँ जस्तै for example एउटा कुरा मात्र गरेर नहुने भएर हो?
You get fooled.
You get fooled?
Yeah.
भन्नाले?
I think there's a trust issue पनि हो जस्तो लाग्छ हैन? So like usually when I do a project, I pay close attention to it, even if I'm working with a video editor or a cinematographer, which are the things that I can do, that I want to like.
The fact that you know stuff is because you can delegate things.
Exactly.
I know.
Exactly.
You get fooled भन्ने त्यो perspective because जब तिमीलाई थाहा हुँदैन मूर्ख बनाउन सजिलो छ नि त.
मूर्ख बनाइदिन्छ. There are people, I don't mean to be rude when I say this, but some people, मान्छेहरुको approach चाहिँ a lot of people are just like, let's get this done. भन्ने हुन्छ नि. त्यो चाहिँ मेरो ब्रान्ड इमेज र मेरो मसँग रिलेटेड काममा चाहिँ, so it's like a QC के quality control हो के मेरो लागि चाहिँ. So I think everybody who's into art and entertainment, entrepreneur, like business, they need to have some idea about that. Otherwise, it's easy to be fooled.
So, तिम्रो एकदम if you have to choose one thing, त्यो चाहिँ के हुन्छ?
Like one thing as in like from everything?
From everything.
I think it would be rap. Because that's where I'm vocal. I can be the most vocal on is from your voice itself. So that's where I feel very empowered. That's where I feel comfortable. And that's where I can do a lot of things that I want to do.
And that's where your North Star is. Eventually, that's how you want to grow in your career as a rapper. अनि त्यो चाहिँ financially reward को context मा पनि highest form हो तिमीले with everything that you do right now?
Rap चाहिँ that's not the case.
Okay.
त्यो चाहिँ हैन.
नेपालमा चाहिँ अहिलेसम्म.
Most of the money that I make is from my services that I give to artists, brands, businesses. हैन. अनि obviously अब मेरो कम्पनीको क्याटलगहरु पनि हो. तर that's something like त्यो त कुन जमानामा investment but you're just getting royalties and revenues out of it. So that's a different case. The main money making is from giving services to platforms, to businesses, to artists. That's where I make the money.
Most of your money from.
Most of the money. Whereas like me as a rapper, I'm starting to do that. आफूमा फोकस्ड भइरहेको छु few months भयो 4-5 months I'm like giving more attention to my brand as a rapper and I'm starting to see progress अब हुन्छ नि त्यो पनि छ तर the more money you can make चाहिँ यसमा छ ऱ्यापमा
चाहिँ
एकदमै
इभेन्चुली
त्यसमा छ
एउटा एज एन अन्टरप्रेनर एउटा धेरै अन्टरप्रेनरहरूलाई हुने प्रब्लम या धेरै आर्टिस्टलाई हुने प्रब्लम चाहिँ के हो जस्तो लाग्छ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ मलाई when we do so many things at times we tend to find ourselves diluted के
एकदमै
होइन त्यो सेल्फ कन्सर्न त्यो सेल्फ क्वेसन्सहरू त्यो डाइल्युटेड फिल हुन्छ तिमीलाई
definitely every day
हाउ डु यु कम आउट अफ इट
so usually all these years I've been doing all these bunch of stuff okay like I do mixing mastering I manage my own studio I'm handling communications I know too much thing भयो के मलाई चाहिँ अब फेरि अब do I scale myself as a producer do I scale myself as a platform or a business I know so your questions man say eventually it comes down to what you really want it's about sacrificing actually and then you got to you got to sacrifice a piece for another strategical move so I think you got to sacrifice a piece of you and that's the most difficult thing to do for a person to sacrifice one thing okay so right now I'm sacrificing a lot of client work
okay
to be focused on like my brand okay it is cause it's like opportunity cost ke mero lagi I'm sacrificing a lot it's gonna hurt it's gonna have some downsides to it but it's a sacrifice you got to make because you can't do everything you either have to have a team I know a team pani it's a process you can't have a good team all at once I know so mero lagi I've sacrificed stuff but what I do is I'm good at like the time management bhanum na so I can sacrifice this for a week and week time I'll like do my thing I know while keeping this alive and the micro के भन्छ time management के
टाइम म्यानेजमेन्टै भन्छ
अलिक बेटर तर I'm not doing music producer full fledged तरिकाले के त्यो चाहिँ हुँदैन अब हुन्छ नि you can like do dabble with it हैन तर it's just going to be like okay I'll just get done with it भन्ने हुन्छ के
अनि त्यो सबै कुराहरू पनि त इन्डिभिजुअल लेभलमा त आफूमै एउटा आर्ट फर्म हो नि त हैन
definitely
अनि आर्ट फर्ममा त हाउ यु इभल्भ बाई इन्भेस्टिङ मोर टाइम रिसोर्स मनी एनर्जी थट फोकस इन्टु इट नि त हैन अनि when you are dabbling between multiple art forms सबैमा मिडियोकर हुने रिस्क भयो नि त किसिमले
एकदमै so I know that's why मेरो त अहिले it's like completely focused on myself as OMG Spark अहिले right now completely it's been 5-6 months हैन since February भनौँ न February देखि चाहिँ I was like okay like हुन्छ नि I've been doing this for artists I've built so many platforms I'm going to do this for myself now भनेर I've been like completely here हैन तर अब कस्तो भइसक्यो नि मेरो स्किल लाइक जस्तो कि म्युजिक प्रोडक्सनमा चाहिँ I've got a knack for it okay so remember the ad we did so like just giving a like 3-4 hours time on a project if that makes me money isn't going to be a complete diversion okay so you can always come back
provided that you reinvest that money into your own thing right?
Exactly so त्यसको लागि I think it can be balanced तर यस्तो चाहिँ हुनु भएन I'm going to be a great music producer of Nepal and I'm going to be a great rapper of Nepal and I'm going to be the greatest business powerhouse of Nepal so those are the things that might not work हुन्छ नि
केही न केही sacrifice गर्नु पर्छ
एकदमै
अनि त्यो चाहिँ डेलीको कन्फ्लिक्ट हो है त्यो
I know I think you can reach to a place of conviction where you're like okay I'm going to do this पनि तर most of the people are not ready to sacrifice because they are in love with it
अनि प्लस यसो पनि हुन्छ it's very difficult to leave money on the table के
Exactly
हैन त्यो
एकदमै that's the most difficult part भनौँ न
because money solves a lot of your problem हैन अनि त्यो yeah
it's also about living below your means पनि
exactly यदि तिमीलाई कम चिज चाहियो भने you can be more focused on
I'm learning this अहिले recently हुन्छ नि I didn't have like एकदमै funny छ हैन I didn't used to have dinner like बिहान खाना नखाने बेलुका नखाने trying to like eat outside that's like networking opportunity for me like you get dinners with people and you grab breakfast with people coffee with people and those are the things that I completely eliminated okay it's like okay म घरमै खान्छु
राम्रै पैसा बच्छ त्यसमा चाहिँ
bro definitely bro त्यो सबैले गर्नुपर्छ stop eating outside के stop doing your coffee thing यो हुन्छ नि it's like you got to live below your means
अस्ति out of the context हैन मैले I'm meeting a friend जहाँ चाहिँ we're trying to figure out a way to work together हैन अनि he is from Australia नेपाली
okay
अनि we're meeting mostly यो झम्सिकेल एरियामा के अनि हिजो मैले क्वेसन सोधेँ ब्रो अस्ट्रेलिया र नेपालको कम्पेरिजनमा चाहिँ के छ यार कतिको सस्तो छ नेपाल भन्नु त ब्रो मलाई कहिलेकाहीँ कफी खाँदाखेरि चाहिँ यो त मैले योभन्दा सस्तो त अस्ट्रेलियामा थियो भन्ने फिल हुन्छ भन्दै
Oh, definitely.
काठमाडौँ इज एन एक्सपेन्सिभ प्लेस
It is like it's been a
इफ यु डोन्ट नो वे टु इट
ekdamai, like this has been that city ke, since so long. Like even back in the days, like if you go like 100 years agadi pani, this was like a city ni ta. There was a whole
सिटी अफ ट्रेड
yes city of trade or trade route ke aba part bhaisakesi ta. But regardless, like you got to live below your means. Stop eating, stop drinking outside. घरमा खाने
तिम्रो फर्मुला हो
घर अफिसमा बरु कफी खाने टक्क होइन इन्स्टेन्ट कफी
र अफिसमा बोलाउने मिटिङको लागि
एकदमै that's where you save a lot of money हुन्छ नि
So if you can live below your means, I think you can focus on thing that really matters in the long run. It might not bring money today, but we all are working for tomorrow, and then
exactly. I think it's also about having a minimalist attitude towards living, especially in a time like this.
अनि त्यो अप्रोचले चाहिँ तिम्रो आर्टिस्टिक साइडलाई पनि प्रमोट गर्छ होला कि होइन बिकज क्रिएटिभिटी चाहिँ मलाई कस्तो फिल हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ त्यो एउटा लिमिटेड पेरिफेरीमा क्रिएटिभ हुनु चाहिँ बवाल जस्तो लाग्छ कि विथ लिमिटेड रिसोर्सेस यु क्यान बी मोर क्रिएटिभ एम आई राइट
Only there when there's like scarcity भइसकेपछि you have
Innovation हुने हो नि त होइन?
innovation हुने हो exactly. So like that's the place where you want to be as an entrepreneur पनि like हुन्छ नि not just an artist.
सो एज एन अन्टरप्रेनर एन्ड एज एन आर्टिस्ट होइन आफूले आफूलाई हुन त अघि तिमीले भनिहाल्यो एज एन अन्टरप्रेनर आई लिभ अ लाइफ अफ सक्सम एज एन आर्टिस्ट आई लिभ एन लाइफ अफ स्पार्क होइन तर आई वान डिग मोर डिप इन्टु द्याट किन भन्दाखेरि आई थिङ्क मेरो पनि करियर चाहिँ कसरी सुरुवात भएको भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ आई स्टार्टेड एज अ
Photographer.
अनि त्यो पोइन्ट अफ टाइममा चाहिँ आई वान्टेड टु बी द बेस्ट फोटोग्राफर इन द कन्ट्री के होइन अनि फास्ट फर 12 इयर्स आई लिड अ कम्पनी द्याट डज फोटोग्राफी एन्ड लट अफ अदर थिङ्स होइन अनि मेरो पनि इभोल्युसन आफूलाई हेर्ने हो भने चाहिँ स्टार्टेड एज एन आर्टिस्ट इभेन्चुली रियलाइज कि आई वान डु मोर देन जस्ट क्रिएट आर्ट होइन आई वान कनेक्ट विथ ब्रान्ड्स कनेक्ट विथ बिजनेस बिल्ड अ टिम अनि त्यो इभोल्युसनमा चाहिँ एउटा पोइन्ट अफ टाइममा चाहिँ आई कन्सियसली स्टप टेकिङ प्रोजेक्ट्स वेयर आई ह्याड टु इन्भल्भ माइसेल्फ के अनि त्यहाँ चाहिँ खतरा प्रोजेक्ट आयो त्यो आफूलाई गर्न मन छ होइन तर त्यो चाहिँ मैले टिमलाई दिन्थेँ किन मेरो दिमागले के हुन्थ्यो भन्दाखेरि अहिले टिमलाई दिएर आज मैले 10% गाइड गर्न सक्यो भने भोलि विदाउट मी इज गोइङ टु गेट थिङ्स डन सो द्याट आई क्यान डु मोर स्टफ भन्ने हुन्छ होइन सो कतिपय वरिपरिको अन्टरप्रेन्योरियल इकोसिस्टममा हेर्दाखेरि पनि आई सी अ लट अफ आर्टिस्ट इभेन्चुली टर्निङ आउट टु बी एन अन्टरप्रेनर र आर्टिस्ट चाहिँ म अब जसलाई पनि आर्टिस्ट भन्छु अब इट्स अ डेभलपर अब एन एप डेभलपर इज एन आर्टिस्ट के बिकज ऊ पुरा आर्टिस्टिक रूपबाट एज अ नर्ड भएर सुरु गर्छ उसले होइन
I think living itself is an art नि
100% त्यो हामी एकदमै वाइड गइदिउँ होइन म लेट मी कम टु अ क्वेसन है त त्यो कन्टेक्समा चाहिँ तिम्रो चाहिँ एन आर्टिस्ट हु टेस्टेड अन्टरप्रेनरसिप बट देन हु वान्ट टु गेट ब्याक टु एन वान्ट टु बिकम एन आर्टिस्ट अगेन टाइपको हो कि होइन अर दाइ आई क्यान डु बोथ हो कि
I mean, my purpose of life is to be an artist. My life itself is an art. It's like a bigger picture that I'm painting भनौँ न अनि अब त्यो भनेकै it's gonna have its segment तर अब I want to center my life around OMG Spark as OMG Spark and the artwork he's done भनौँ न so मेरो लागि चाहिँ अब
तर आर्टिस्ट पनि त अब एक किसिमले एन आर्टिस्ट हेज टु बी एबल टु सेल हिमसेल्फ अर हर सेल्फ नि त होइन
त्यो त कम्पनीले गर्छ नि ब्रो
नेपालमा आफै गर्नुपर्छ होला अहिलेसम्म त
Exactly. There's that, I know. But I feel like artists should be an entity, should be owned by a business.
लेभल होइन
Label, I know. Like OMG Spark is owned by OMG Spark Private Limited type. Okay.
ए
Something like that. Nepathe is owned by Nepali, something like that.
ए सो आर्टिस्टको आफ्नै कम्पनी
Yeah.
ए ओके
So like,
जुन ग्लोबली हामीले हेर्छौँ एउटा रेकर्ड लेभलले 10-15
not necessarily.
नट नेसेसरली
Artist को company is in terms with the record label, not the person. So that's the wrong approach. Ke?
ए ओके
So like when you give yourself away, like let's say OMG Spark is signed to T Series, I'm done. I'm cooked. When I'm like in a personal contract with T Series, they're gonna cook me. But then if I have a company, let's say Spark Private Limited,
deals with T series
it's gonna be different, right? So I think that's something that's not so popular in Nepal, but there are legend people who are doing that, but a lot of people don't know about it.
तिम्रो केसमा चाहिँ जस्तै अब ऱ्याप इज वान अफ द एलिमेन्ट अफ हिपहप होइन
Uh-huh.
अनि तर यु डु अ लट अफ थिङ्स आउटसाइड हिपहप होइन सो आफूलाई चाहिँ तिमीले अगेन अघिकै कुरामा हो एज एन अन्टरप्रेनर आई डु अ लट अफ थिङ्स आउटसाइड हिपहप बट एज एन आर्टिस्ट आई एम अ ऱ्यापर आई एम फ्रम दिस कम्युनिटीवाला हो
I've always got my community. So hip hop for me is home, and everything outside that is me traveling around. Khalke. I've always got hip hop on my back. I've got a good community support.
कस्तो छ हिपहपको सिन नेपालमा
Hip hop scene Nepal bawal cha. It's good.
बवाल भइरहेको छ
I think it's supporting the declining of youth engagement.
ओके
So that's like the government needs to notice bunny because there's a massive declining of youth engagement in Nepal because they're doing nothing. They're just like, let's go outside. I'm not trying to be rude, but then for a lot of them,
that's the reality.
a lot of them don't have any options. And I'm glad there are so many youth who have an option to do hip hop. And there's youth engagement in that. Okay? What else has more youth engagement than hip hop? Just the
छैन
So like I went to Basantapur hijo asti and there was like bacha selling me pani and that bacha the bhai was like I was there shooting something and he was like money rap hanchu re ke it's like 6-7-year-old ke rap hannas ule afai lekha re aba
यो चाहिँ ग्राउन्ड रियालिटी भयो होइन अनि आई थिङ्क इट्स इजी टु गेट इन्टु एउटा 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 कम्युनिटी बिकज यु लाइक द्याट यु एप्रिसिएट द्याट यु हेभ बिन कन्ज्युमिङ द्याट होइन तर आफ्टर स्पेन्डिङ सम गुड अमाउन्ट अफ टाइम इन्टु द्याट कम्युनिटी द्याट हेज टु बी रिवार्डिङ ब्याक टु यु नि त सो द्याट इट बिकम्स मोर सस्टेनेबल सो वाट आइम ट्राइङ टु गेट हियर इज
sustaining inside the hip hop.
sustaining inside the hip hop community as an artist.
Oh, that's difficult now. That's the challenge, I know. The fact that hip hop has youth engagement is good. Like overall, at a society level, at a sociological perspective, but when we get down to the economics of it, but that's tricky, you know. It's also about like the survival of the fittest one, as they won't sell. But then it's about how you take your brand, okay? How you need to realize that you're a brand first of all. Like rappers need to realize that. Music producers need to realize that. If they do that, there's money. There's massive money. Everything is record business used to be physical business by the product business. And now it's not that anymore. It's like a streaming business. I know everything is online. I know there's on UGC penetration is like off the roof. I know if you can shine by asked, okay? So it's like it's the similar to like any business just there, startup just there. Not every startup will boom or take off neither. Not every rapper will take off.
Okay. I like what you said. Every rapper or a music producer should see themselves as a brand, right? You see that missing in Nepal, right?
Ekdamai.
So what's not syncing up? Ke sync bhayirahena? What's going wrong?
I think it's a trend, like hip hop. There can be different style of hip hop. You know that. The hip hop that I do is completely different from what's going on in the scene. The hip hop that V10 does is completely different from what's going on the scene. I know. What Yama Buddha did was very different. So त्यहाँ पनि अब unique selling proposition हुनु पर्यो के तर अब when everything is made, so when every rapper is trying to be a copy of something हुन्छ नि भनौँ न so like there's a saturation in this like hip hop के where like everybody's talking about drugs, violence, gangster stuff. त्यो गर्यो भने त I don't know how many of them will thrive, होइन तर if people can find a unique identity, if you're authentic and if you're original, that's how you pop off in the scene. There's no shortcuts हुन्छ नि but if you do stand out हुनु पर्यो नि
अनि त्यो भइसकेपछि चाहिँ फेरि अब इकोनोमिक्स भनेको त एट द एन्ड अफ द डे इट बोइल्स डाउन टु जस्तै अब स्ट्रिमिङ भयो होइन इफ यु हेभ गुड पेनिट्रेसन सोसियल मिडियामा यु गेट ब्रान्ड डिल्स यु क्यान मोनिटाइज द अडियन्स बाई ब्रिङिङ अन यर सोज इभेन्ट्स त्यही हो है नो रकेट साइन्स
No rocket science. It's simple as like
द एक्सट्रिम यु क्यान गो नेपालमा मेबी यु कम अप विथ यर ओन मर्च होइन त्यस्तै त्यस्तै त हो नि होइन त्यो तर केही आउट अफ बिजनेसमा ऊ भन्छ कि ब्लू ओसन स्ट्राटेजी रेड ओसन स्ट्राटेजी भन्छ कि ब्लू ओसन स्ट्राटेजी इज टेक्निकली द वर्ल्ड वेयर नो बडी हेज ट्राइड एनिथिङ होइन अनि मोस्ट अफ द टाइम अल द अपर्च्युनिटिज मेजोरिटी अफ द अपर्च्युनिटिज आर ब्लू ओसन कि बट देन प्रब्लम के हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि बिकज वी ट्राई टु कपी द अपर्च्युनिटिज already executed by somebody in the market,
Right.
that becomes red ocean. Okay, you know, you're getting what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So, त्यो कन्टेक्स्टमा चाहिँ
So blue ocean or
red ocean.
Okay,
Red ocean is something that has already been done and
yeah.
dusted.
So basically, blue ocean is like Nike making shoes, and red ocean is like the Chinese people copying it and making high copy versions of it, something like
More
that.
or less. Or just for example, red ocean could be executing the idea that has already been tested in the market.
Okay.
Blue ocean would be coming up with completely new, and that's where the majority of the audience opportunity is there. Okay.
Right.
So त्यो कन्टेक्स्टमा चाहिँ त्यसलाई चाहिँ बिजनेस टर्ममा चाहिँ ब्लू ओसन रेड ओसन
Right.
देयर इज अ बुक अराउन्ड इट होइन इट्स
That's great. हो अब त्यही हो अब
सो तिमीले भनेअनुसार चाहिँ त्यही त्यो इनोभेसन केही आफ्नै केही स्टाइल जस्तो भिटेनको इक्जाम्पल थियो आफ्नो इक्जाम्पल थियो यहाँ उदाको इक्जाम्पल थियो द स्टाइल अफ वर्क दे डु त्यो चाहिँ स्ट्यान्ड आउट हुन सक्यो भने चाहिँ आई थिङ्क त्यो इकोनोमिक्स त्यो सस्टेनेबिलिटी चाहिँ इजियर छ भन्यो
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
तर त्यो त जेमा पनि त्यही होला होइन एउटा बिजनेस गर्दाखेरि पनि इफ यु क्यान कम अप विथ देयर होल न्यू
अब are you talking about what to do in like नेपालको scene-मा?
या प्लिज हेल्प मी आउट
I think you come up with something that at the end of the day, it's about audience and how you're going to entertain. So like the three things that is most important in entertainment industry is entertainment, and entertainment. I know. So it has to be entertaining at the end of the day. So how do you make yourself entertaining is the first question as a rapper. I know. So there are elements that you can incorporate. Auditory experience or visual experience on the last when it comes to like doing music. So how do you cater? What are the efforts and what are the elements that you incorporate in these two things? Okay. So like auditory experience or visual experience, like how do you make it unique? But it could be anything, you know. It could be something that people will laugh at. Okay. It could be like, are you familiar with Lil Zola?
या
So he's a comic. Comic hip hop word. He's a comic act के हुन्छ नि.
ए
हुन्छ नि. So सबैजनाको डिफ्रेन्ट हुन्छ. जस्तै कि Vitain is controversy. होइन. Yama Buddha was a social message type of person. Dong is energy. Unapologetic energy. So you have to associate yourself with philosophy.
तिम्रो चाहिँ
I think it's Nepalese Brilliance. It's about promoting heritage. It's about it's just I'm bringing two worlds. Okay? I'm bringing the ancient ones and I'm bringing the modern one. Okay?
and this is something you can choose होइन you can choose and you can stick around
It's
it
about self-discovery. Okay? I was making sounds that was different than that I'm making right now. I've reinvented myself. The auditory experience and the visual experience is something that I've reinvented over the time. Okay? So I had a realization about recently I'm doing an album called Valley Jams. I know. So what I was trying to do was I was born and raised in Kathmandu city, New Road. I was born and raised seeing jatras and everything. So it came to a realization where I was like, why not incorporate these elements and make something? So that's where I'm sticking at. And that's where my chip is in. That's my horse for the race.
अनि यसमा चाहिँ अब लङ कमिटमेन्ट चाहियो होइन त यु क्यान नट चेन्ज दिस एभ्री नाउ एन्ड देन नि त होइन
You can
यु
tweak
क्यान
a
ट्विक
bit.
इट बट यु क्यान नट चेन्ज द बेस बेस चाहिँ सेम हुनु पऱ्यो
The YY has to be YY, bro. If they do funky things with it, it's not going to be YY anymore type ko huncha ni. So maybe you can do a few things, branding change garna milla. But the core of it, you can't really change it. So I think it will be easier for rappers if they know what they're trying to do. Like, am I a comic rapper? Am I an energy, super electrifying artist? Am I a social message rapper? What kind of brand, what kind of things do people like? भन्ने कुरालाई cater गर्ने एउटा perfect philosophy भयो भने it will work out for people. And I think it's something that people need to figure it out. So a lot of people do this without even knowing it. Okay? Some people are just good at it. This helps when you're pitching yourself बाहिर or like brands and so like Nepalese Brilliance, culture, heritage, what are the brands that I can connect with? होइन I've got this whole made in Nepal भन्ने गीत पनि छ मेरो so I can reach out to products who are like made in Nepal
ओके बिजनेस इन्टिग्रेसन त गर्नै पर्यो
हो
यु हेभ टु सेल समथिङ अफ युर सेल्फ फर समन एल्स
एकदमै
होइन त्यो ट्रान्जेक्सन त हुनै पर्यो यो ब्रेक स्टेसनको कन्टेक्समा अरविन्द र म बसेर डिस्कस गर्दाखेरि हाम्रो एउटा न्यारेटिभ एउटा कन्भर्सेसन चाहिँ कस्तो हुन्थ्यो भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ आउट अफ अ लट अफ सोसल ह्यान्डल्स द्याट वी रन लट अफ सोसल ह्यान्डल्स अफ आवर्स एन्ड ब्रान्ड्सको होइन ब्रेक स्टेसन स्ट्यान्ड्स आउट्स के कसरी भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ द मेजोरिटी अफ अडियन्स आर सुपर यङ
एकदमै
होइन बबाल यङ के होइन अनि मैले हाम्रो यो ब्रान्डिङ र मार्केटिङमा पनि ब्रान्ड्सहरूसँग कन्सल्ट गर्दाखेरि भन्ने चाहिँ के हो भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ इफ यु आर फाइटिङ फर अ सेचुरेटेड मार्केट होइन जस्तै फर इक्जाम्पल इफ यु आर फाइटिङ फर वाइवे जस्तो लेट्स से अर केही भनौँ एउटा होइन कुनै एउटा यस्तो प्रोडक्ट जुन चाहिँ लेगेसी प्रोडक्ट हो इट्स देयर सिन्स डेकेड्स भन्छ चाहिँ हाउ यु पेन्टेड अ मार्केट इज बाई पेनिट्रेटिङ यङ पिपल के 16, 17, 18, 19 वर्षको जसको चाहिँ हेबिट फर्म भएको छैन होइन यति जस्तै 15, 16 वर्षको चाहिँ चाउचाउ खाने हेबिट फर्म भएको छैन भने दे यु गो यु क्यान पेन्टेड द्याट पर्टिकुलर एज ग्रुप इस्टाब्लिस युर सेल्फ एन्ड वेन दे ग्रो विथ यु बुझ्यो मैले भन्नु खोजेको
एकदमै
त्यो मार्केटिङमा चाहिँ कस्तो हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि सेचुरेटेड वर्ल्डलाई पेन्टेड गर्ने भनेकै युथ सुपर यङबाट जाने हो कि यु ग्रो टुगेदर
इन्ट्रेस्टिङ
अनि तर अनफोर्चुनेटली आई फाइन्ड इट रियली हार्ड टु एक्सप्लेन इट टु द ब्रान्ड्स होइन आई होप जसले हेरिराख्नु भएको छ घन्टी बजोस् सो हामीले एउटा न्यारेटिभ भने चाहिँ के हो भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ अब सुपर यङ होइन अडियन्स चाहिँ सुपर यङ अनि त्यही अडियन्सलाई रोटेट गर्ने हो नि त त्यही अडियन्सलाई पबमा बोलाउने हो त्यही अडियन्स इभेन्ट्समा बोलाउने हो त्यही अडियन्सलाई मर्च बेच्ने हो होइन अनि यो अडियन्सले चाहिँ पैसा कमाउन सुरु गरेको छैन होइन घरैबाट फ्यामिलीसँगै माग्ने हो अब सबैको के अरे फ्यामिली एफ्लुएन्ट प्रिभिलेज हुँदैन होइन मेजोरिटीको हुँदैन नेपालमा नेपाली टेक्निकली वी आर पुवर कन्ट्री नि त एक किसिमले हेर्ने हो भने चाहिँ नहुनुपर्ने हो होइन बाई करेन्ट स्ट्यान्डर्ड बाई करेन्ट क्यापिटलिजमको स्ट्यान्डर्डमा चाहिँ वी आर पुवर कन्ट्री नट इन टर्म्स अफ हेरिटेज
नट वेल अफ
एक्ज्याक्टली होइन अहिले करेन्ट इकोनोमिकली अनि कसरी ट्रान्जेक्सन गर्ने त किन भन्दाखेरि ट्रान्जेक्सन गराउन सकिएन भने त न आर्टिस्टलाई केही दिन सकियो होइन न कम्युनिटी नै बुम गराउन सकेन नि त अनि मेरो रिफ्लेक्सन चाहिँ होइन ब्रो म यो लास्ट 12 इयर्समा चाहिँ बिन एबल टु वर्क विथ अ लट अफ डिफ्रेन्ट कम्युनिटिज के 2013मा आई स्टार्टेड अ वेडिङ फोटोग्राफी कम्पनी होइन अनि वी स्टिल डु हामी चाहिँ टन्नै फोटोग्राफ्स भिडियोग्राफर्सहरूसँग काम गर्छौँ कि सो त्यसबाट कम्युनिटीको एक्सपिरियन्स लिन पाएँ मैले त्यसपछि 16मा कमेडी सर्कल स्ट्यान्डअप कमेडी इट वेन्ट बुम होइन अनि कमेडियन्सको कम्युनिटी हेर्न पाइयो त्यसपछि 2018मा ब्रेक स्टेसन होइन ब्रेक स्टेसनको कम्युनिटी त्यसपछि डुवर्सले गर्दाखेरि अन्टरप्रेनर्सको कम्युनिटी होइन अनि सबै कम्युनिटीको एउटा प्रब्लम मैले भेटाएँ कि वान कमन ट्रेट अन अलमोस्ट एभ्री कम्युनिटी के छ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ एभ्रीबडी जोइन्स इन बिकज दे लाइक इट दे वान बी अ पार्ट अफ इट बट देन त्यहाँ चाहिँ कसैले पनि ट्रान्जेक्सन काम गरेर हुँदैन जसले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ सस्टेनेबिलिटीमा क्वेसन आइदिन्छ कि होइन अनि इभेन्चुली दे गिभ अप होइन इभेन्चुली पिपल गिभ अप फोटोग्राफी इभेन्चुली पिपल गिभ अप वान्टिङ टु बी स्ट्यान्डअप कमेडियन इभेन्चुली पिपल गिभ अप वान्टिङ टु बी अ ऱ्यापर बुझिरहेको छ मैले भन्नु कि इभेन्चुली पिपल गिभ अप वान्टिङ टु बी एन अन्टरप्रेनर बिकज त्यहाँ इकोनोमिकली त्यो सस्टेनेबल हुँदैन त्यो चाहिँ मैले एउटा कमन ट्रेड देखेको छु होइन अनि त्यसको एउटै सोल्युसन मैले देखेको चाहिँ पिपल इन द कम्युनिटी हेज टु बी अन्टरप्रेन्योरल कसरी गर्ने त त्यो त च्यालेन्ज हो नि त त्यसमा चाहिँ फिगर आउट गर्नु पऱ्यो अब त्यो एउटा चाहिँ सोल्युसन होला तर त्यसको पनि अब कसरी अन्टरप्रेन्योर हुने भनेको त आई थिङ्क इट डिपेन्ड्स अन वान पर्टिकुलर अन्टरप्रेन्योर र म अनि हाम्रो अघिकै कुरा लिएर आउँछु नि अरविन्दसँग कुरा हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ अब यो कम्युनिटीलाई ग्रुम गर्नको लागि बुम गर्नको लागि त्यही ब्रान्ड्सहरू नै लिएर आउनु पऱ्यो अहिलेको लागि त
अहिले एक्जिस्टिङ
ब्रान्ड्सहरू अनि हामीलाई चाहिँ गाह्रो भइरहेको छ ब्रान्ड्सलाई कन्भिन्स गर्नको लागि
दे आर भेरी
रिजिड अनि दे वान डु त्यो ब्लू रेड ओसन स्ट्राटेजी दे वान डु वाट हेज बिन डन इन द पास्ट
एक्ज्याक्टली यु नो
हिपहप इज सच अ यङ कम्युनिटी अहिले होइन इट हेज इट्स ओन लेगेसी तर यो लेभल अफ ऊ चाहिँ मैले पहिला थिएन कि अब आई थिङ्क दिस इज 2024 इज प्रोबेबली यु सी सो मेनी अमेजिङ आर्टिस्ट होइन जुन पहिला थिएन अर सोसियल मिडियाले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ अहिले देखिएको छ भन्न पनि पाइयो
राइट अब
सो वाट आई वान डिस्कस कसरी कन्भिन्स गर्ने त ब्रान्डलाई कि हिपहप कुड बी अ थिङ है किन भन्दा यति मेजर अहिले यस्तो ब्रेन भएको स्टेटमा यस्तो युथ इङ्गेजमेन्ट कुनै डोमेनमा छैन दिस इज दि डोमेन होइन कसरी हो त यु कम एन्ड बी अ पार्ट अफ इट लेभरेज इट गिभ भ्यालु ब्याक होइन बुझिरहेको छ मेरो क्वेसन
Definitely. So you're asking how can hip hop be more appealing
अर हाउ क्यान वी इङ्गेज
for
ब्रान्ड्स
brands?
किन भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ यत्रो कम्युनिटीमा काम गरिसकेपछि कम्युनिटीको त्यो ग्लु भनेकै मनी रहेछ कि इट्स द मनी इट्स मनी ब्रिङ्स ड्रामा होइन अनि ड्रामा इज अ ग्लु द्याट होल्ड्स अ कम्युनिटी टुगेदर के
Wow, that's great, man. I like that.
अनि मनी भन्ने चाहिँ नराम्रो हुनु परेन नि त दामी हो नि त मनी भन्ने कुरा त इम्पावरिङ कुरा हो नि त होइन सो कसरी अनि अहिलेको लागि चाहिँ ब्रान्डसँगै छ पैसा किन भन्दाखेरि यदि यो जस्तै फर इक्जाम्पल 18-19-20 वर्ष मेजोरिटी नभएर 25-30-40-45को मेजोरिटीको अडियन्स भएको भए दे आर अलरेडी मेकिङ मनी यु क्यान डु टिकट्स यु क्यान डु पेड इभेन्ट्स यु क्यान डु लट अफ अदर थिङ्स
You know, what I think is, I mean, I've got experience in like going out to brands, pitching them an idea, trying to get sponsorships and deals from them. You know, it's been happening for so long. But there's this dogmatic belief around hip hop in Nepal, at least in the brand go ahead, that this is a very loud and is very chhada, explicit.
Not family friendly.
Exactly. So those are the restrictions that we need to be accountable for. Okay. So eventually it breaks down to what is it that you're pitching, okay? And this essence ke ho, and what kind of impact does the community is going to have when they're interacting with that? So like a rap battle, rap battle, it's just derogatory insults going on. I don't know what kind of narrative it sets for social balance.
I think we changed that in Brick Bar.
Definitely, you guys did. It was more controlled. I know. That's something that needs to happen. That's what I'm saying. Like hip hop ko scene mother, there needs to be, I would say like like there needs to be a committee or like I don't know. There needs to be some kind of control. Okay.
Governance.
Oh, governance. I mean, it's cool when you talk about like naked girls and like money and drugs. There's a way of doing it. There needs to be disclaimer to that, and it's not for everywhere. Okay, it's a separate but we need to create a filtered and distilled versions of hip hop. Okay, to brands. Okay, so like.
मैले बुझिरहेको छु अनि यस्तो पनि होला कि जस्तै फर इक्जाम्पल ब्याक इन 2017, 18, 19, 20मा हामीले चाहिँ एउटा के कमेडी सर्कल गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ कस्तो भयो भन्दाखेरि हामीले फिल्टर राखेनौँ होइन अनि भल्गर वर्डहरू हुन थाल्यो अनि एउटा नयाँ कमेडियन्सहरूलाई चाहिँ कस्तो भयो भन्दाखेरि भल्गर वर्ड हाल्यो भने चाहिँ भाइरल हुन्छ पिपल विल लाफ भन्ने भयो कि अनि त्यो पर्सेप्सनबाट चाहिँ दे स्टार्टेड मेकिङ मोर एक्सप्लिसिट जोक्सहरू होइन विच वाज नट डुइङ गुड होइन बट देन तिनीहरूको पर्सेप्सन त्यस्तो थियो अनि इभेन्चुली द्याट पर्सेप्सन स्टार्टेड ट्रान्सफरिङ टु द ब्रान्ड्स के जस्तै हुन्छ नि अब मेरो कमेडी सर्कल गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ इयर लङ डिल द्याट वाज साइन मैले एडभान्स लिइसकेको थिएँ गट क्यान्सल बिकज अफ वान भिडियो बिकज आर्टिस्ट सेड समथिङ द्याट सुड नट हेभ बिन सेड एन्ड देन राति 11:30 बजे ब्रान्ड इज कलिङ मी अनुप आइ एम सो सरी होइन आई डिडन्ट वान्टेड टु डु दिस बट देन दिस इज द ब्रान्ड द्याट आई हेभ बिन बिल्डिङ सिन्स लास्ट 12 years होइन उसको आफ्नो ब्रान्ड इट वाज एन एजुकेसनल कन्सल्टेन्सी अनि आई थिङ्क आई हेभ टु मुभ आउट देयर अल आवर रिलेसनसिप इज आई वान्ट हाउ डु आई डु इट by not keeping our relationship on the line because it's about my brand अनि I understood हुन्छ नि होइन दाइ ठिक छ हुन्छ नि ल ठिक छ अहिलेसम्म जति भइसकेको छ हामी लेट्स डु द बिलिङ अफ द्याट आई अन्डरस्ट्यान्ड भन्ने भयो कि अनि म चाहिँ आई थिङ्क आइम लकी इनफ टु बी अन द बोथ एन्ड आर्टिस्टको एन्डमा पनि ब्रान्डको एन्डमा पनि आई क्यान अन्डरस्ट्यान्ड द्याट अनि वाइल आई ट्राई टु डु माई पार्ट अफ के अरे क्लेरिफाइङ थिङ्स टु अ ब्रान्ड एन्ड क्लेरिफाइङ थिङ्स टु द आर्टिस्ट बट देन कहिले काहीँ हुँदैन हुन्छ नि होइन आर्टिस्ट आर आर्टिस्ट फर अ रिजन
They are. I know. You can't just limit artists, but exactly. Like stop swearing or like stop.
त्यो फेरि मलाई कस्तो लाग्छ आर्टिस्टले चाहिँ एउटा युज गरिदिन्छ कि त्यो एउटा के कार्ड भन्छ नि त्यसलाई भिटो पावर युज गरिदिन्छ कि
Okay.
Can't limit artist.
Right. Oh, definitely.
Freedom.
Also, I think it's also about eventually it's about the bigger Nepali audience. How sensitive is the audience? How gullible the audience is भन्ने कुरा हुन्छ अब that's something that needs to be changed त्यो भनेको it's like a bigger reform that needs to happen like changing मान्छेकै बेहोरा behavior change गर्नु चाहिँ it's going to take some time
it's going to take a long time
so that's like the most difficult thing to do is change people's narrative and the way people think about things I think those are the things that can be done through steps but it's going to be a long-term thing that you have to do.
Multiple decades.
Multiple decades, to the point where it gets comfortable to throw jokes and throw swear words. I mean, it's very... People are not that overly sensitive in America when they like incorporate slur words in their content or like any piece of art. So त्यहाँको audience is more like, they're more free and laid back. So it's also about how Nepali people should stop being uptight पनि, so that every brands could be a little flexible पनि हुन्छ नि. So okay, it happens भन्ने खालको.
So without convincing a brand, I don't see how communities will survive. Okay?
Right. Is it the same for like hip hop? I know because I went to hip hop group, hip hop centric projects too. I've taken those to brands. I know how they respond. Is it the same for other like industries, bunny, where there's no, like, there's no filtration, not चाहिने खालको हुन्छ नि, it is what it is भन्ने खालको, and they're like, they don't have opinions about it, like हुन्छ नि.
They have opinions about everything.
Everything.
Ani not just you art world, even when I'm doing very very corporate thing, people have their own perception of how it should be done. Whereas I come from an experience of 12 plus years of doing the same thing. People still have an opinion of how it should be done. Okay? Nepalमा चाहिँ I think एउटा problem चाहिँ के भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ when you hire someone, and you hire for their expertise, okay? Not for their expertise, for their experience, for their ability to think from a multiple perspective नि त हैन. At times it feels like you are only getting hired for a act that you can execute. Okay? Execution को लागि मात्र hire गरे हो, not for a thought process, not for 100 different perspective you can bring into the table. Okay?
Right.
Because when you are hired as a marketeer, and when you pay good money to hire a marketeer हैन, you should listen to them नि त. अनि I'm not complaining, not हरेक brand को भने हैन. तर to answer your question, yeah, यो हरेक अरूमा पनि छ. अरूमा पनि छ. अनि I think त्यो चाहिँ जस्तो अहिले पोलिटिक्समा भइरहेछ नि त, we see new faces.
Right.
हैन, त्यो चाहिँ I think
that's the trend अहिले.
That's the trend. हैन, त्यो चाहिँ बिजनेसमा पनि भइरहेको छ. अनि फेरि on a positive side 2014 मा काम गर्दा फेरि र 2024 मा काम गर्दा फेरि चाहिँ every organization that I've worked with have more young people, okay? Who watch what I watch, who consumes.
Right.
हैन, त्यो कन्टेक्स्टमा फेरि पोजिटिभ साइड त कच्चा हैन. अब कन्टेक्स्चुअली चाहिँ मैले भन्न खोजेको. तर स्पेसिफिकली मलाई चाहिँ एज अ फ्रम अ सेल्स साइड मलाई चाहिँ हिपहप सेल गर्न चाहिँ गाह्रो भइरहेको छ नेपालको कन्टेक्स्टमा हुन्छ नि. वाइल आई हेभ मेरो मसँग मोबाइलमा ब्रेक स्टेसनको एनालिटिक्स एक्सेस छ. आई खोलेर म देखाउँछु कि look at the views, look at the reach, look at the comment, and you will not get this on anything. के तिमीले पाउनुहुन्न के तपाईले यो engagement के.
Oh, that's like super high.
Crazy.
Quickly saying like मेरो brand experience एकचोटि, so I went to few like big reputed brands. So we've got a brand called Khatra Lifestyle. We've posted like 5 videos in it. It's like a rap session, you know.
तिम्रै हो?
Yeah, me and we have a partner like DJ Khatra ra me. We run it together. And what happened? We went to sponsors. Like, we have this great idea. Give us money. I know. I mean, there was a whole pitch to it,
Okay.
but regardless, they're like, it was very impressive. Okay, we knew that we would get like sick engagement on it. Like, no doubt. Nobody participated. Let's say त्यति बेला एक दुईजना brands there, they're being too हुन्छ नि like
Controlling?
Controlling. We don't want to like अब हाम्रो brand को नाम भन्दैनौ type को हुन्छ नि bro. That we don't want to do that to our artists हुन्छ नि. अब second season गर्दैछ के अब हामीले. So I've already taken this to a few brands like this is what we've created, and they understand it now. Okay, because brands don't understand what you're trying to do. Okay. Because there hasn't been a blueprint of what you've done. So I think for people like us, we need to create something that they can actually see and interact with it. Pani ke?
त्यो हाम्रो responsibility हो. त्यो opportunity पनि हो.
A lot of brands don't even know what you're talking about. Okay? Very honest. A lot of people don't come from the knowledge that you come from. They have knowledge in very entire different things. Okay? They're being able to show something that you see to the brand is the most trickiest part. Okay?
अहिले मैले सिकेको छ हैन, त्यो प्रोसेसमा चाहिँ you have to use philosophy रहेछ के.
Okay.
हैन, when you use philosophy, everybody finds it's relatable के. हुन्छ नि, you establish a philosophy, you make a case.
Yes, sir.
And you break it down to the reality you are offering, and then you show connection.
Exactly.
See, we all are related.
You have to do that. There has to be a philosophy. That's why, like, the reason why, like, I'm doing like Nepali Brilliance, heritage, conservation, youth, targeted. Like, it's like a cultural preservation. Pani. I'm preserving folk instruments of Nepal. So then you need to create certain angle to it. Okay? When you're doing like anything, like there needs to be a philosophical angle to it. Okay? At bigger picture, what it's going to do. भन्ने खालको. So,
अनि आई थिङ्क फ्रिडम चाहिँ अर्को के पनि हुनसक्छ भन्दाखेरि होइन इफ यु क्यान फिगर आउट अ वे टु मोनिटाइज द एक्जिस्टिङ अडियन्स
right.
त्यो चाहिँ बवाल
Coming to that, you're saying that I've got so many views, so many. It's because it's about eventually who pays you? The platforms. Platforms like Facebook, YouTube, Meta platforms, so and so. Okay, so it's about licensing. You're licensing your content to those platforms. They're not giving you good money. The CPM is really low in Nepal. Depressing. So it happened because a lot of things goes through neighboring licenses or like just like your platform we get CPM I think is lower than India, okay? Simply because
industry
I think so, yeah, bro. Like in music, bunny. So if I get a 1 million views from you American viewers, I know. If I get 1 million views on a one video, all US ke manche, I'll probably get like $6,000-7,000. But if I get the same 1 million in Nepal, I won't even get like $600.
अनि इट मेक सेन्स पनि किन भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ कन्जम्सन पावर पनि हेर्नु पऱ्यो नि त प्लेटफर्मले पनि हेर्ने भनेको त एउटा अमेरिकनको कन्जम्सन पावर र एउटा नेपालीको कन्जम्सन पावर इभन इन टर्म्स अफ डलर यु इन्भेस्ट इज मच डिफ्रेन्ट नि त
It is. I feel like that's where like brands need to be AdSense-ले हामीलाई पे गर्दैन is because नेपालमा एडभर्टाइज चलाउने कोही छैन. Does that make sense? छैन.
लोकल ब्रान्ड्सहरूले अब
Comparatively फेसबुकको पे रेट धेरै छ युट्युबको भन्दा. So I think more advertisers, more income that we get. It's like simple like
मलाई त एउटा कुरा अचम्म लाग्छ किन नेपाली ब्रान्ड्सहरूले चाहिँ युट्युब एड्सहरूलाई चाहिँ लेभरेज गरेर राखेन
Exactly, bro.
इन्डियामा इट्स क्रेजी के
I don't like even like everywhere around the world. Okay? You could see like GoDaddy, you could see McDonald's, you can see everything. I swear to God, if brands start advertising themselves like Tokla, QFX, whatever, like YY, CG on YouTube, सबैजनाको CPM पनि बढ्छ के.
तर फेरि यसमा नेपाल अर्को प्रब्लम भनेको चाहिँ त्यही डलरकै कुरा आइदिन्छ कि फेरि डलर कार्डको कुरा आइदिन्छ
अब त्यही हो कि लास्टमा कुरा गर्यो लास्टमा
त्यही कुरामा
नेपालमा पेपाल छैन भने जस्तो हुन्छ नि. अब I heard it's coming soon नेपालमा होपफुली
एउटा भिडियो भाइरल भइरहेको छ तर आउन दिन्छ जस्तो मलाई लाग्दैन
है.
एनिवे यो हिपहपमा चाहिँ टिकटेड सिन कस्तो छ पिपल
टिकटिङ
टिकट काटेर हेर्न आउने टाइपको
you have to have a niche. Otherwise it's doomed, to be honest. Why, like, what's the price of the ticket?
400-500
400-500 को त आउला तर इज द्याट कतिजना बोलाउनुहुन्छ
1000 जना बोलाउनु भयो
1000 जना भने
क्रेजी 1000 जना
5 लाख रुपैयाँ भयो हैन अराउन्ड एन्ड द्याट्स त्यो त भएन नि त
1000 जना कहाँ बोलाउने नि कुरा
एक्ज्याक्टली द्याट्स द थिङ. अब आइम डुइङ अ शो इन octave.
Please tell me.
I'm doing a show at Octave, 27th September.
Octave ma?
I've got like 200-250 people. So
confirmed. Ticketed. What's the ticket price?
1,000 rupees, 999. I know.
Okay.
Only 999 ma so. I've pushed the sales. Afe, to be honest.
नगरी साध्य छैन.
No, it's not going to work.
अनि it makes sense. No, you have to shamelessly promote yourself. You are not promoting yourself. Who else will?
Exactly. That's something you got to do. You got to be. I'm not doing that. OMG Spark is not doing that. Saksham is doing that.
Do you think त्यो एउटा attributes त्यो एउटा skill set चाहिँ नेपाली ऱ्यापर्सहरुसँग कम छ being able to sell themselves through यसरी?
I've got a perfect example for you. मैले टिकट रोल आउट गरे 24 घण्टा केही पनि गरिनँ मैले. I thought ticket would sell आफै. I only got 3-4 sales के. रहेछ कोर त्यो अल्ट्रा फ्यान्सहरु के 3-4 जना त्यसले त पुगेन नि त. So the next 24 hours, what I decided, I'm going to push the sales. DM, call, anybody that I meet. I got like 30 sales. I'm going to go live as and I'm going to force everybody to like dude, why are you even watching this if you're not going to support me? Like, get lost, हुन्छ नि. Like, एउटा way of doing it. So to push sales चाहिन्छ. So for me, it's like I've got like 200 people, tickets, friends and family, anybody, fans, whatever, and I've got like 50-60 VIPs. 50-60 VIPs from the embassy, from so and so, from so and so, so and so. So I'm giving them a show, okay? I'm not trying to profit right there at the show, but I'm trying to create a narrative and I'm trying to set an experience in their heads, okay? So when I do that, 250, I'm creating future opportunities, okay? हुन्छ नि.
कसरी गयो है यो एउटा यसको एउटा फ्रेमवर्क बनाएर if you can help the existing rappers with this framework त्यहाँ चाहिँ बवाल हुन्थ्यो होला के.
Trust me, this is a thing.
के हो the framework?
I think in terms of
do
show,
whatever it takes.
Like do a show. I know.
Do a show, okay. Plan a show.
Plan a show. You can do this like a monthly thing. Okay? If you have a big team, 2 shows a month. Completely different. Audience say the niche चाहिँ अलिक different हुनुपर्छ. That's what I think.
त्यसको लागि चाहिँ अब maybe तिमीले एउटा काठमाडौँमा गर्छौ, एउटा भक्तपुर गर्यो, एउटा चितवन गर्यो.
Exactly, something like that, हैन. अनि अब if let's say you sell like 250 tickets, there's like 2,50,000. 1000 रुपैयाँमा. You're giving one ticket ma, you give beer, you give sitan, you give whatever you want to do. 1000 ma, you have to give something to the buyer neither. So I was like 50 first ticket gets t-shirt. I'm going to do that. That's no big cost for me. I know. So regardless tickets, but if you can like even make like 1 lakh rupees profit to buy it. I know 1 lakh RTs 50 or so and so. I know. You get a deal with the venue, you get sponsorship, you sell the drink. I think there's going to be sound revenue around that. Okay? You're looking at 5 lakh profit just the last month. It's 4 to 5 lakhs. If you can do that show, but the artist needs to be
really good.
Really good. And yeah, like it should have a niche. It should be good what he's doing. अब मैले त ब्यान्ड हालेँ त्यही भएर मेरो कस्ट अलि बेसी आयो. ब्यान्ड नहालेर अब एकजना मान्छे छ, एउटा मान्छेले 100 जना त चिन्छ नि. त्यो हो कि that's where the
100 जनालाई 1000 रुपैयाँ दिन कन्भिन्स गर्न सक्दैन भन्ने कुरा
सकिहाल्छ नि. Bro, like if you don't have 100 people, if you don't have 100 people who are willing to spend 1,000 for you, like what are you doing, man? Like stop doing whatever you're doing and start focusing on other thing. That's my thing. I'll be very, it's going to be very challenging for me if I don't sell like 200 tickets. You know, I'm actively lagiरहेछु के. So it's something that the push sales just okay.
अनि यो इभेन्ट चाहिँ हो कि हुनै हो के. You can't avoid events अनि डिजिटल मात्र गर्छु भनेर पनि डिजिटल के. I'll just do YouTube.
Bro, like digital not digital को like त्यो छुट्टै छ. So when you like look आफुलाई हेर्यो भने like एउटा as a rapper or hip hop you have two markets. And I would say you have two markets la. एउटा नेपालकै market भयो. नेपालको marketमा सबसे money how you're going to make, you're going to do shows. You're going to sell merch. You're going to get some royalties from online. You're going to get brand deals. So these are the 4 things how you're going to make money inside Nepal. And when I say shows, you can be performing for Nepali audiences in different parts of the world. I'm not saying that's a different market. It's Nepali market name. When you go to Australia and you're performing for Nepali people, that's not going internationally. You're performing for Nepali people. I know. So that's what you can do. That's like a national oiliko uppers. That's the ceiling that a lot of artists are hitting. So like त्यो गयो त्यहाँभन्दा माथि छँदै छैन. So that's it. Like that's the market. It's a good market if you can like thrive. You know, it's a good market. There's this outer market. So there's 2 big markets. One is India. I know. India ma cha. Recently, Nepali song has started to penetrate in India market like never before. Never before. Trust me. In few years down the line, you can see T-Series acquiring Nepali songs. That's for sure. I know. T-Series has come to Nepal for many times for market research. I know. They're interested. I know. Nepal's market is too small for any big companies to come in. Ke khasma. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
Nepali language ko market.
Exactly. So when it comes to like India, like Sony ni aune, Universal ni aune, Warner aune, what is this? Like it's because of the language speaker population, you know. Nepal sano sa. There's not going to be Sony, there's not going to be your blah 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 coming to Nepal. That's for sure. So what we can do is we have to integrate ourselves into other markets like India. I know. Or you could do even like America, like English speaking countries.
India नजिक भयो.
India makes sense.
India makes sense.
For a lot of people, India makes sense.
अहिले भइरहेको छ couple of you see a couple of good rappers अनि singers pani coming up with Hindi version of their
You can see this happening for a very long time, and it's going to get only better. The interaction between the Indian and Nepali market in music is going to be very good. It's going to be robust in years. The chances are Indian companies will exploit Nepal in certain way if they don't know how to put themselves well.
जस्तो तिमीले अघि भन्यो कि OMG Spark र Spark Private Limited could be a two different entity that works together, and the Spark Private Limited can deal
With these
T-series
whatever, Sony हुन्छ नि.
representing OMG Spark.
Yeah.
त्यो mindset हुन सक्यो भने चाहिँ
Oh, I think it's Indian market because so many relatable factors. So like Kusal Pokhrelko paisa bhane chale हैन. Paisa त the Indian people can understand paisa,
Exactly.
right? And most of the population looks similar pani. So it's like we are part of this subcontinent where the identity is almost the same, okay? When it comes to like entertainment,
Southeast Asia.
Southeast Asia, हैन. So that's the market you want to go to. हैन. But what I'm talking about is there's a big potential about us going into the world market pani. The American market. There has been cases. I know. There are Nepali who have earned so much. I know.
के अरे नाम बिर्सेँ मैले somebody who won Indian Idol को second round Arthur
Arthur
Khan.
Well, usko he came from a reality show. I don't know how much he made, you know? And I don't know if white people are listening to his song. I hope they do. I know it's a different thing. So let's talk about like people like Curtis Waters. I know Sogun. Who else? There are some UK-based Nepali rappers who are catering to American needs, English-speaking needs. Okay? If you look at Japan, who understands Japanese? Nobody understands Japanese. Why are they willing to read the subtitles? It's because of the cultural experience, I think. Don't you think? I know. Ani anime हेर्छ तपाईले?
पहिला हेर्थे.
Do you know त्यसको त्यो थाहा छ नि हैन anime? Indiaको, I mean like people like to dabble with the Japanese culture because it's so rich. At least that's how they were like pretty good at like art and so on.
अहिले रिसेन्टली एउटा भाइरल भयो नि जापानिज किरा
Exactly, like I know.
कसैको वास्ता हो के
Yuki Chiba. I know, cool. I think there's a big potential for Nepal in that. I believe that Nepal ko
त्यो भाइरलिटी हेर्दा त ल्याङ्ग्वेज बुझ्नु पनि पर्दैन.
No, it's not that anymore, okay?
जस्ट बजिङ हुनु पर्यो कानमा त्यो मजा आउनु पर्यो.
Oh, and it's about presentation, okay? I think Nepal's biggest export can be art, you know?
सो त्यसो भए त हामी नेपाली भाषालाई नै त्यो राइट प्रेजेन्टेसन गऱ्यो भने त द्याट विदाउट चेन्जिङ द ल्याङ्ग्वेज नै जसरी जस्ट हाइपोथेटिकल क्वेसन हो जसरी जापानिज ल्याङ्ग्वेज चाहिँ विदाउट गेटिङ इट ट्रान्सलेट इन्टु इङ्ग्लिस इफ इट क्यान बी अ थिङ होइन नेपाली भाषा वाइ क्यान नट बी अ थिङ विदाउट चेन्जिङ द ल्याङ्ग्वेज.
Of course, it can be a thing. That's the thing. I don't know like what's up with people. I think I think it's personal reason पनि हुन्छ. I think it's self-doubt, to be honest. Like people get so हुन्छ नि like कोही अब कुइराएर यहाँ बस्दै रे like there's a white guy right here हैन. It's going to be different के अब कोही नेपाली बस्यो नि ओहो यो त हैन हेलो सर
पर्सेप्सन नै
you automatically put yourself like their premium खालके के no way like उसको लाइफ र मेरो लाइफ is same हुन्छ नि why are you afraid to like speak your accent हुन्छ नि. Japanese people have accent, Indian people have accent, you know. It's not about accent, okay? It's about self-doubt that we've always had in the society, okay? I mean, not just like in political terms, there was self-doubt. Self-doubt was instilled in Nepali people's minds since ages, okay? The governance, at least. I mean, युवा भन्नाले हाम्रो पुस्ताहरूको के अब हामीलाई पो थाहा छ त अहिले we are being more अब the new generation is being more confident.
यसो भयो नि त मिडिया डेमोक्रेटाइज भयो त्यसपछि हामीले कन्ज्युम गर्ने कुराहरू चाहिँ एउटा भर्टिकल मात्र रहेन कि जस्तै हाम्रो बाबुबाजेले कन्ज्युम गर्ने त त्यो टिभी न्युजपेपर रेडियो थियो जे फेड गर्यो त्यही नै त्यस्तै भएर निस्क्यो.
Exactly. That is breaking up. And I feel like the sovereign Nepali-ness ko feeling छ नि the pride or whatever. I think Nepali people will represent themselves better than ever before, okay? Than it ever has. I know. अनि if you look at like Japan art and culture भनेको 8 centuries हुन्छ नि there were people त्यहाँको kingsहरु पनि they were very liberal when it came to like promoting arts and culture so त्यहाँको like governance नि त्यस्तै थियो हैन. So I think the first step is to remove that self-doubt from the... Everybody needs to be aware that we are as equal as anybody in this world. Like, not a nation of, like, the thing or matter like the economics, GDP, I don't know, like bullshit. And we need to be confident in our own skin. That's what it matters. And if we are able to do that, I believe like we can export. If we are confident with our language, okay, it can scale the markets, bro. We just like Gangnam style buja sara hamle. We still what is Gangnam, bro? Like I don't understand what Gangnam is.
Oppa Gangnam Style.
And there's like South Asian song in India, but you don't understand what they're speaking. And I feel like the presentation is ball on
Presentation bhayo, packaging bhayo.
Oh, we need a packaging, okay?
Marketing bhayo feri हैन.
Oh, we need to do you know what? Like Nepal needs a revamp, okay? It already has elements. Like, what are the thing that we're... Like, India got independence in 1947. They decided to market themselves with Hinduism, yoga, tantric arts, meditation, Indian curries and stuff.
हाम्रो के हो त हैन?
Yeah, हाम्रो छ त. We've got our mountains. I know. We've got marijuana culture. We've got psychedelic cultures. We've got Buddhism. Adventure. There's heritage. I know. We've got one of the oldest thriving cities in Asia. I know.
Climate.
I know. It's a beautiful country. There's wildlife. I know. There's मात्र छैन के.
अनि त्यो फेरि गर्न सकिने भनेको आर्ट म्युजिकहरुबाट नै हो के.
Art, music, film, like stuff like that. त्यो भइसक्यो.
Creationबाट.
हो. अब I think when was the first time that like Mount Everest was marketed like in the world? Like there was a white guy named Hillary Clinton. उसको नाम? Tenzing Norgay र Kore. Edmund Hillary, like that guy marketed the shit out of Mount Everest in the world ni ta त्यति बेला. I know, the top highest peak scaled by this white guy and a British guy. Oh, there's this place भन्ने खालको हुन्छ नि. And that's how they created the narrative, and there was the whole mountaineering scene booming after that. अनि त्यति बेला hippie trail हुँदा everybody like हुन्छ नि.
अनि तिमीले अहिले गर्न खोजेको त्यही त हो नि हैन?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Like
you're trying to pick something really valuable, something that is very authentic, and you're trying to integrate in what you do in your music.
So I'm trying to make it very mystical, okay? I'm trying to make it like, white people...
And that has a higher potential to go global, because के कुरा global जान्छ भन्दाखेरि जुन चाहिँ original छ के, because the world has already seen what they have seen.
You know the word, we are exotic, के? That's our unique selling proposition. We are exotic place, के? Nepal is an exotic place, nestled in the mountains. There's valleys, there's Tarai plains.
So तिम्रो वर्कमा चाहिँ nationalism र patriotism को mixture हो?
Definitely. But not to a point where it's like too the nationalist
liberal approach ma.
Ekdamai. I feel like I'm trying to revive the feeling of pride of being a Nepali into youth. It's like I think it comes from a void,
अनि यो चाहिँ कसरी तिम्रो self reflection बाट आको? How were you able to identify okay, this is my style?
I mean, like, I was born and raised in Kathmandu.
अघि भन्ने
थियौ I was born and raised in Kathmandu.
Nepali community jatra.
Not just that हुन्छ नि, त्यो त थियो. I didn't really like find like meaning त्यसमा त्यति बेला when I was a kid. तर when you see your friends, when you see your family migrating into different parts of the world, living a very different life, and you are here, you're trying to do something, you are doing here, you're making money here. But even when you do that, even when you're making money, it kind of feels like something's missing, I know. I think I'm missing Starbucks, man, or whatever. I think I'm missing a good road. And that's that's the void that I'm saying. And I'm trying to fill that with like heritage, culture. I'm finding a purpose. I'm trying to give meaning to my own existence in Nepal. It's not just about money. It's also about identity at the end of the day. It's
sense of belonging.
Sense of belonging, I know. So my sense of belonging has only gotten stronger, and I'm more proud than ever to be here because of the so-and-so thing that has happened. The trends that are happening. So it's like on Nepali युवाहरू सब बाहिर गयो हैन, सब अब बाहिरै बस्ने भयो, youth decline भयो. त्यसको result चाहिँ के भयो नि, people like us maybe who are more conscious about our country's potential हुन्छ नि. So I think it's a better...
That could be a pull factor in that, because I think we are dwelling too much on people going outside. We're not talking much about how to bring them back.
Bro, you know what? People they go work in like bairako societies, rising up to that hierarchy is like almost difficult thing because there are white people who are already doing that. त्यहाँको सिस्टममा त्यहाँको rat race मा they're already कहाँ नि हैन. And Nepali, I've seen Nepali people coming back के.
Me too. मैले पनि.
हैन अनि like bro ल्या मलाई त चिन्दैन यार एटलिस्ट यहाँ त चिन्छ आफ्नो देशलाई गरे जस्तो हुन्छ. They start missing out हुन्छ नि.
So तिम्रो केसमा चाहिँ you're trying to go global without going regional हो?
गाउँको सपोर्ट त चाहिन्छ नि. तर I'm trying to I think I'm trying to go global
Without going regional.
with going regional. यहाँको मान्छेलाई नि त थाहा पाउनु त पर्छ.
Regional होइन मैले regional चाहिँ कुन कन्टेक्स्टमा भन्न खोजेको भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ नेपाल होइन इन्डियाको कन्टेक्स्टमा.
न अब इन्डिया भयो नि I don't mind, you know, like why not? I'll go to India and say some things and come back हुन्छ नि.
किन त अहिले जुन जस्तै ट्रेन्ड देखेछ नि हिन्दी ऱ्याप हिन्दी सङ होइन दे आर डुइङ इट क्वाइट वेल. आई थिङ्क पैसा इज अ ग्रेट इक्जाम्पल होइन.
You know what I really don't like is my whole problem with this एउटा merged एउटा one identity of South Asia. Okay? It's like India. Okay? But I don't mean to be rude when I say this, that I feel like Nepal has a different identity. And around the world, Nepal is like a country of brown people.
होइन अघि तिमीले नै भनेको कुरा कि वी हेभ टु इन्टिग्रेट अन समबडी एल्स कल्चर टु मेक मोस्ट आउट अफ इट भन्ने हिसाबमा मात्र भन्न खोजेको कि.
So like there are 100 like सयौं थुङ्गा फुलका हामी हैन त 100वटा फुललाई एउटा फुल बनाउनु पर्यो के. That we need to create
one identity.
We need to create one Nepal के. One Nepal को identity. त्यो brand त्यो हुनु पर्यो के. And then bro like
every artist is a marketer के.
Obviously I'm thinking like
because you're marketing a thought, you're marketing an idea, you want that idea to reach to millions of people.
So my thing is, I mean, like I love to perform for Nepali people in the UK or like in somewhere around the world. But you know what I would prefer? I would go to a white audience and perform my sets in English and Nepali and ask them to visit Nepal. So it's like I'm promoting Nepal there. In a way that is being understood by them.
And so तिम्रो process of creating art को पनि objective छ.
Of course.
हैन.
There is a bigger objective behind
There's
that.
a medium मात्र भयो.
It's only medium. That eventually it goes back to our nation itself. And
I think that would differentiate from an artist to an wannabe. Okay? Wannabe just want to create something and want to be known for it, want to be popular, whereas an artist creates something because you want to convey some message to the millions of people. And the art is a medium to them.
Exactly. Art is a medium. Art.
So एउटा पर्टिकुलर आर्टिस्ट चाहिँ कहिले कतिपय कन्टेक्स्टमा मैले कस्तो देख्छु भन्दाखेरि एन आर्टिस्ट अ ट्रु आर्टिस्ट इज गुड अन मल्टिपल भर्टिकल्स के. जस्तै अब अ गुड आर्टिस्ट अ पोएट एन्ड देन दे अल्सो ड्र अमेजिङ के. मैले भन्नु खोजेँ तिनीहरूको आर्ट चाहिँ अरू ठाउँमा पोखिन्छ के. वाट एभर दे डु इट्स ब्युटिफुल के. नट नेसेसरीली सबैमा लागु हुनु परेन तर त्यो
it is a truth नि. आर्टिस्टहरू अब artist ऊ भएको छ अहिले. Everybody is artist, you know. A girl who's making TikTok right now is artist. So I don't know what's the definition of artist right now in this time. I know. But there are artists who are trying to do something. अहिलेसम्म नेपालको identity जुन छ वर्ल्डमा it's because of the artists who have contributed के. Because अब हुन्छ नि like we are talking about India's independence. India had a very scattered identity before 47 okay? So there was a whole movement, there was a whole marketing plan on how we promote India to the world. Do you know how rapid India was like exporting religion and how like they're sending gurus like Oshos and stuff. They were selling like Indian restaurants all over the world, like the big marketing strategy. And I just feel like Nepal could be a good country where a lot of challenges I think resolved by it. We could be a very sound nation with a very proud identity. Okay? That's it. That's what we want. We don't want to be world India ko powerhouse just हुनु मन छैन.
And I like what you said. सय थुङ्गा चाहिँ एउटा फुल हुनु पर्यो के हैन. एउटा आइडेन्टिटी हुनु पर्यो.
And there are organizations, there are people who are always trying to divide that and create social ruckus all the time. Because they divide and conquer on the. So people need to realize that like even in corporates, if you think about that, give it a thought to it, they're trying to divide people.
So Spark, where is Spark headed? It's creating his piece and going around the world,
hopefully, let's see how good everything turns out, like I take example of Kutumba, like Kutumba has traveled the world. I just want to be Kutumba but with rap हुन्छ नि.
कुटुम्ब नेपथ्य
Yeah, हुन्छ नि. Trying to त्यो नेपाली माउथपिस हुन पाऊँ भन्ने हो मेरो त.
अनि ऱ्याप र अरू म्युजिक सिनमा चाहिँ तिमीले के अन्तर देख्छौ इन टर्म्स अफ मार्केट साइज इन टर्म्स अफ इभोल्युसन इन टर्म्स अफ आर्टिस्ट मेकिङ
Making out.
it
Hey,
out,
people who are
making things
doing
sustainable.
people who are doing hip hop has more chance because hip hop is accepted. Hip hop is the sound that artists, यहाँको artists, they are creating, It's something that we can match के. You can't match a Taylor Swift को pop song here. अब Taylor Swift जस्तो गाउने त होला नि नेपालमा गाई. The process behind this is so like difficult के. तर hip hop मा it's easier to stand out
because you bring contextual stuff हैन.
Exactly. त्यो सजिलो छ. So like hip hop लाई सबसे सजिलो भनेको I think world scale music मा scale गर्न भनेको नेपालमा भयो भने it's like probably hip hop. Hip hop पछि I think like एकदमै exotic के भन्छ ethnic musicहरू folk and ethnic music त्यही दुईटा हो जस्तो लाग्छ.
स्केल गर्न सक्ने.
They have better
पप
chance.
पपहरू चाहिँ
What's pop in Nepal हुन्छ नि.
अनि हिपहपमा पनि everybody just talks about rap के whereas rap is just one of the element हैन.
Exactly.
अनि संसारभरि पनि if you see it's the rapper जुन top of the league मा हुन्छ नि billionairesहरू.
अनि यस्तो
तर I don't see the dancers who are on the top of the league हैन. MCs हैन.
You know what happened in the late 90s or like late 80s भनौँ न त्यो बिचको टाइममा early 90s मा चाहिँ what happened like hip hop started to not just Nepal hip hop, the world hip hop headed towards the direction where they started. Hip hop more was a culture thing. हुन्छ नि what happened they started to cut layers to make it more marketable.
Okay.
So like why would like people want to watch like bunch of 5-6 dudes and 1-2-3 gals, like doing the hip hop dances? Like they cut it off, get a girl or get a naked girl with a हुन्छ नि that's more likely to pop off. So like the whole hip hop scene itself started to cut these elements के खासमा
into multiple pies.
Yeah. तर if you look before like 90s के era मा पनि there are acts who used to incorporate these elements. Breakers were known, graffiti artists, tag artists were known, हुन्छ नि DJs were known. अहिले त अनि just rap.
अनि I think that's so to pieces कट गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ मेजर पाइ चाहिँ ऱ्यापरले पाए कि भन्ने कुरा के इभन फाइनेन्सियली पर्सपेक्टिभ
यसो because like vocal छ नि त. That's where like even the dancers can't speak.
They speak but then
they speak through another kind of expression. Expression. The most powerful medium of expression is शब्द words because it's the manifestation.
You think rapper took a larger pie because it's vocal, it's expression, it's more easily understandable. शब्दहरू हो हैन.
Words. अब like that's better. I mean like we could be doing this over a blog post ni.
Exactly.
It has more impact.
So अहिलेको मा चाहिँ if somebody is inspired by a hip hop culture and if they really wanna make money, I think they would better choose rap as a form of expression than
definitely
something else. If you wanna really make if money is the
it's also about like are you vocal like हुन्छ नि के राम्रो छ तिम्रो हैन त्यो सोध्नुपर्छ त्यो क्वेसन आफैलाई. If you think you're good at like हुन्छ नि expressing through your words like go for it.
तर मजा फेरि कस्तो आउँछ भन्दाखेरि when Babal rapper amazing song but then he or she is integrating all the elements together on a visual form हैन त visual language मा त अघि भन्यो नि एउटा कम्युनिकेसन कि त अडिटोरी हो कि त भिडियोको पर्सपेक्टिभबाट हो त्यो हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ आई थिङ्क गरिएको नि छ देखिन्छ नि त हामीले विसी हुन्छ नि पपर्सहरू
भयो भने त्यो हो तर अब like musicमा there's a place where we can monetize ourselves. But there aren't a lot of places where like dancers and graffiti artists and even DJs can monetize themselves. And so if they want to monetize themselves, it requires even more brand to business to keep entrepreneurship चाहिन्छ के होला.
Entrepreneurial mindset चाहियो.
एकदमै like if I'm not saying like the graffiti artist can't. Okay? I know graffiti artists who are doing corporate gigs.
There's this guy world famous who's very private नि. अब entrepreneurial हुन सक्नु पर्यो.
एकदमै.
Entrepreneurial is not something you buy with money. You discover it within yourself. I know you work upon it.
एकदमै
It's not to privilegely मात्र पाउने. Yeah, it's not something
होइन
you can buy with the money.
for example like I've got my family business. My focus is more onto like OMG Spark right now के हुन्छ नि
Because that's your business.
no, it's not because of my business. My business, family business is my business. Ni. You know, I'm eating because of that business for the last 23 years. I know, I've got so much love for it. But it's like I could put my company in a better position if I'm focusing on this thing. Ke? So like if like let's say if I scale myself, I'll have better deals for my company. Ke? I'll put my company front ni त्यति बेला त.
It's like you humanized your company, you know?
Exactly.
You attached a human face to your company.
एकदमै
नि त्यही त मजा लाग्छ यार when I meet someone like you of your age, 23-year-old,
Yeah.
होइन young blood होइन अनि entrepreneurship ad, you talk about हुन्छ नि you have a potential to actually take Nepal to a more global scale through your art होइन जुन कुरा एउटा गीतले गर्न सक्छ त्यो धेरै कुरा धेरै लेक्चरहरूले गर्न नसक्ला
एकदमै
होइन अनि त्यो
changes like if you tap into people's senses that's where like you have a better chance okay?
Exactly.
So like when people eat YY and they're like it's a smell हुन सक्छ or like
so what do you have to say to a narrative कि नेपालमा धेरै अपर्च्युनिटी छैन नेपालमा के गर्ने नेपालमा बसेर बर्बाद भइन्छ या तर अब यो भन्दै गर्दाखेरि तिमीलाई के कमेन्ट्स आउन सक्ला भन्दाखेरि ब्रो तिम्रो पो फ्यामिली बिजनेस थियो फ्यामिली बिजनेस चलायो तिमीले हैन
right it's here's the thing just like even if I am from a family like business background of family मेरो लागि चाहिँ it was not we are not in the same plane के same domain मा छैन के like मेरो family business को narrative र मेरो narrative so that's a difficult part हुन्छ नि because I am an entrepreneur on my own I can leverage around these stuff that I have in my family तर I'm not doing what the company wants me to do अहिले हुन्छ नि I'm going into more different routes and everything होइन so coming back to like saying like नेपालमा I think you have to be a risk taker okay that अब like अहिले त नेपालमा सबै रिस्क टेकरहरू मात्र त बाँकी छ जस्तो लाग्छ because everybody has left होइन so like if you can take a risk I think even more than that if you have a passion okay? Money is byproduct of passion so you gotta have passion every brand ko pachadi there's passion okay? That's holding that brand together there's passion for something so if you're a passionate person if you're passionate about something you can do it in Nepal nobody can tell you otherwise okay?
Passion अलिकति overrated जस्तो लाग्दैन तिमीलाई
Passion overrated I'll even make it simpler like if you're good at something if you have a skill basic as that हुन्छ नि a person knows how to video edit it's the very beginning that likes video editing but unfortunately he has to leave भने चाहिँ that person can stay he has chances okay? So if you are skilled भनौँ न त not even passionate if you are skilled you will definitely have a passion for it नि त होइन र
or if you have you can build that passion and then keep on improving your skills
exactly like
you should have at least something केही न केही चाहिँ हुनु पर्यो
I think you can travel with your okay eventually okay?
विदेशै गयो बाहिरै गयो भने पनि you can be more powerful
yeah because like you are like I have a business in Nepal like हुन्छ नि
look at my portfolio all the
exactly
business portfolio त बोकेरै नि हो नि त मोबाइलमा इन्टरनेटमा .com मा हैन
so like त्यो गर्ने अनि documentation is important अहिलेको जमानामा
कस्तो इम्पोर्टेन्ट भयो डकुमेन्टेसन
you got to document everything you got to have your own website and then you got to like document everything अनि
you don't even need your own website हुन्छ नि you can leverage Instagram YouTube LinkedIn
exactly त्यो presence चाहिँ हुनु पर्यो कतै
digital footprint चाहिँ हुनु पर्यो
तर for the like youth people हुन्छ नि I feel like a lot of them has already found a lot of people अब there's a trend हुन्छ नि of going outside चाहिँ
अनि ट्रेन्ड फलो गर्ने युथले नै हो
अब there I know friends who are like amazing talented people who are like I'll go type okay because like जाने हो नि त
सबै गइरहेछ नि त
bro like किन नजाने टाइपको bro you're talented at this man like why are you like हुन्छ नि किन like it does not make sense like you've already made progress still here and you want to go there and start from this and you don't even know if you're going to land there okay
exactly
I know so like it's become a trend and I think it's also an identity problem होइन
अघि तिमीले भनेको त्यो आई थिङ्क ऊ प्रब्लम आइडेन्टिटी सेल्फ डाउट प्रब्लम
लाइक सेल्फ डाउट ला यहाँ बस्यो भने त मिड हुन्छ जान्छु पिपल हु हेभ लाइक वेल्थ के होइन has few ropanis bro like in Kathmandu I know it's like going outside like what are you doing you've got like asset right there do something with that ni that could take you into different heights ni I know
and then go
like
go with the fact कि यसैलाई बढाउँछु हुन्छ नि go and bring global networks होइन
अनि अब यस्तो छ I know people who are so well off काठमाडौँमा 4-5 वटा घर and they're going Australia and they're saying like I'm working in this place and I'm making money type को के अनि तेरो छ त सम्पत्ति and it's like त्यो त फ्यामिली बाउको सम्पत्ति like that's yours bro like leverage it हुन्छ नि
नेपालमा त leverage गर्न सिकाएन क्या हामीलाई
your father may not know about it के and maybe even उसको आजकलको पेरेन्ट्सहरू नै कन्भिन्स भइसक्यो कि yeah like you need to send them like हुन्छ नि like घरबाट बाहिर पठाउनुपर्छ बरु like live on your own flat like काठमाडौँमै you know what I like about people coming outside of the valley they're amazing people के हामी काठमाडौँको मान्छेहरूलाई काठमाडौँ मान्छे धेरै जान्छ जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई चाहिँ अनि कस्तो छ नि बाहिरको भाइहरू मैले कतिजना देखाएको छ कि
उनीहरूको लागि विदेश हो
विदेश महिनाको 35,000 तिरेर बसिरहेको छ यार फ्ल्याटमा आफै कमाएर द्याट्स नट अ जोक म्यान लाइक द्याट्स सम सिरियस मनी के 35,000 तिर्ने मान्छेले त महिनाको 1 लाख रुपियाँ ढुक्क कमाउँछ होइन देयर आर पिपल हु डुइङ द्याट भ्यालीबाट बाहिर आउनेहरूको नि सो इन्सपायरिङ हुन्छ नि अनि यु कुड डु द्याट अलरेडी इन हियर हुन्छ नि लाइक पोटेन्सियल त कति छ देयर्स
तिम्रो एज ग्रुपको साथीहरूमा चाहिँ कस्तो कस्तो कुराहरू हुन्छ
Bro, I've never had like a circle of friends of my own age.
Okay.
अहिलेसम्म चाहिँ unfortunately. I do have friends at school so and so तर कुरा अलि मिल्दैन. So like I've got my band अहिले everybody's like 31, 32, 31, 25, 26 type हुन्छ नि तर अब when it comes to like hanging around with my own age group of friends it's a bit different you know and I find myself as a black sheep त्यस्तो बेला चाहिँ like what should I talk about type हुन्छ नि मतलब
you talk about what you do ni regardless of where you are where you go हुन्छ नि
it's also about like what are youth talking about right now people like maybe age ko they're talking about super bikes they're talking about cars they're talking about going outside हुन्छ नि they're talking about I like this a lot of there's this in youth ma चाहिँ entrepreneurship I'm an entrepreneur भन्नेहरु पनि छ के like there are people हुन्छ नि religiously trying to be an entrepreneur like going after ideas हुन्छ नि त्यस्तोहरु पनि छ है फेरि I've got friends like that पनि अनि
सो त्यति मतलब होपफुल हुने ठाउँ टन्नै छ हैन आई थिंक इट्स द नेगेटिभ भोइस दैट इज लाउडर के तर
आई थिंक अहिले जति पनि छ नि हामीहरु यहाँ छौं this is enough bro like this is enough to change everything it is enough to change the course of Nepal I believe that and then you're doing this you've got multiple like production and imagine where you're going to be in 10 years bro like and the type of people you'll be employing the type of experience you'll have and like me more pani and after 10 years 15 years like the youth who are doing business right now they're going to be in a very different position and I've seen local मेरो साथीहरुको लुगा ब्रान्ड्सहरु के like यस्तै टी-शर्टहरु बनाउने they're making ridiculous amount of money bro like हुन्छ नि they're closing in like 50-60 lakhs a month to folks हुन्छ नि त्यस्तोहरु पनि छ के there are people you need to call them over bro here there are like local clothing brands हरु के I'll give you the ad
please get me connected
हैन अनि it's so amazing how they did it के अब नगर्ने छ नि अब it's so cliche when I say this तर अब खाने मुखलाई जुङ्गाले छेक्दैन के हुन्छ नि अब like where there is a will there is a way it's simple as that these quotes are said so often because they are very real के त्यही कोटले मलाई कस्तो हान्छ कि लाइक हुन्छ नि where there is a will there is a way भन्दा so like
it is cliche because it is true नि त हैन
oh
things does not become cliche
I think the media consumption is also the part के where like people are trying to go outside हुन्छ नि
और यहाँ चाहिँ हामीले त्यस्तो मिडिया क्रिएट गर्न सकेर
एक्ज्याक्टली
हैन
यहीँको गर्नु नि यहीँको लाइफस्टाइलहरु डकुमेन्ट गरेर बनाउनु हैन
an audience छ के
so like when we make music videos right rap ma you know what artists do they try to find the best location ke the best building the best clothes the best gals maybe I don't know हुन्छ नि they are trying to match ke बाहिरको के why are you trying to do that bro like
to reducing strategy भयो do something innovative
like go to gully and rap bro that will have more effect if you do it creatively though. So I think we as like us in like hip hop scene or like platform owners and so they're like missing out on integrating their local identity into it. Okay? They're more like how to make a Joe Rogan podcast type of thing. Like, you know, they're trying to do that stuff on Sunny. And I feel like which is good, like you can do that. No issues in that. But what I'm trying to say is you need to incorporate these local aesthetics in order for the new generation to look at it and be like, oh, this is my country. Growing up, I didn't have a lot of things to see or listen, like see. Okay? What like Nepal use गरेको like I used to search on Google like movie shot in Nepal type को हुन्छ नि. And I used to look at that, whoa, this is my country, man. It used to feel so good. And I still do that. I still watch those movies, French movies, I know, British movies. Those are shot in Nepal. I love Doctor Strange because there's a Nepal in it. So I think like rappers, musicians, bands, content creator, filmmakers needs to incorporate these elements rather than trying to copy the aesthetics of the West. Okay?
Because you can only go global by incorporating what you have locally.
Yeah.
I know, because even the global stage matter, people will appreciate
The local stuff.
the local stuff because they have already seen the thing that's already there.
Why is Chaka Panza not an Oscar and Shambhala is, bro? Simple as that. Shambhala is like the new movie, I know. No, I have not watched it. But then I think I'll watch it in a few days, right?
Shout out to
Min Bahadur Bom. It's an amazing movie. And it's so like this toge huncha ni.
Meta cha yaar, bro.
Right?
Meta level ma cha it will take you to a
different
तिमीले चाहिँ मल्टिपल लेयरमा सोच्नु पर्ने मुभी छ के त्यो.
That's great. अब
Exactly.
अनि जस्तै कि अब हुन्छ नि you got to do stuff that incorporates the Nepali elements हुन्छ नि. I would even like, you know, I have objection with gods को photo के. Like Ganesh, Shiva को photo. I object with that. You know why?
Why?
These are imported from India. These are made by Indian artists, and which are rampant. I'm not saying there's any. It's my personal thing. I know. I feel Ganesh, Shiva को representations are यही local artists ले बनाएको छ, which is kind of different than what we see. It's like एकदमै commercially देख्छ नि त त्यहाँ हामीले इन्डियाले पठाउँछ नि त हामीलाई. I have a problem with that.
त्यो गरेको फेरि मुभिजहरुले नै हो के.
अब why हामीले गर्न नसके. I mean, if you go to, I've seen so many brilliant artists, newer artists. They've painted amazing Ganeshas. Why don't you replicate that and sell it? And not just that, not just like त्यो त भगवानको फोटो त एउटा कुरा भयो के.
तर हरेक कुरामा तिम्रो प्रोडक्टको कुरामा पनि यहाँ हुन्छ नि.
हो नि जस्तै कि अब I don't know, maybe so many things, like even the like bookको कुरै भन्दा अब papers that we use, the fabrics that we use हुन्छ नि यस्तो यस्तो. अब I know it's globalization, everything is starting to touch people's life, but what I'm trying to say,
maybe hyper localization हुनुपर्ने हो कि.
Oh, एकदमै. Japan के bro. That's why I just say Japan हुन्छ नि. नेपालमा चाहिँ त्यो के भन्छ, okay, what did you say, like hyper localization, and then that needs to happen to a different level भनौँ न. People needs to start हुन्छ नि अब घरमा पनि bamboo furnituresहरु हुन्छ नि.
त्यसलाई कुल बनाउनु पर्यो हामीले.
So you use pagoda styles of building, हैन, like while
त्यसमा फेरि काम लाग्यो हुने तरिका भने फेरि म्युजिक आर्ट क्रिएसन नै हो फेरि. Because how things becomes mainstream.
And when you look at Basantapur, Darbar Square, or like the old Kathmandu, those are like, they were embracing those elements. Okay? I know Ornico did the pagoda thing, Nita, and he took that to the world, and you can see those architectural style in Japan, China, Korea, so many places. You know, about what happened is like हाम्रो खिचडी भयो के बीचमा के. Like everything was so balanced and like globalization or whatever हुन्छ नि like.
अब we can be vocal about it.
सुरु
गर्न पाइयो नि त फेरि.
म हिँडिरहेको हुन्छु बाटोमा. I think it's too rude हैन. यस्तो घरहरु क्या नमन पर्ने के. Where this design of घर came from हुन्छ नि like. I don't like this design, man. It could have been a little bit हुन्छ नि. Imagine like यहीँको housings हरु पनि के. If the architectures were like, let's make एउटा के guideline बनाइदियोस् न like countryले. Do something for the aesthetic of the country as well, ni. because like we're talking we're I mean at the tourism hotspot ho. We need to make this place as much as like hyper localized ke.
We suck at aesthetic जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई त होइन we don't naturally suck at aesthetic but I think decision makers suck at aesthetic because when you see monuments when you see statuesहरू होइन
अब
के
जस्तै
हो टाइपको के
for example मैले I saw like the bus station फाल्चा बनाएको थियो नि do you know नयाँ बानेश्वरमा त्यो I like that do more of that rather than making a glass खालके त्यो
fancy looking
हुन्छ नि त्यो बाहिरको जस्तो भन्दा try to incorporate these elements हुन्छ नि अनि when you're like corporate gifting गर्छ नि try to gift something that is like local हुन्छ नि like I don't know पुस्तकारी हुन्छ नि why are you gifting chocolates and shit हुन्छ नि trying to I think it's a more lifestyle thing you know हुन्छ नि
exactly or a mindset thing
it's a mindset thing अब I would love to see a Nepal that embraces its aesthetics भनौँ न
मजा आयो ब्रो अमेजिङ
really that's great man मलाई नि मजा आयो यसरी बोल्न पाइँदैन नि जहिले पनि
अनि yeah loved it I hope this conversation will reach to
people
the decision makers
definitely
होइन अनि we can influence them somehow म चाहिँ एकदमै एउटा ऊ भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ के भन्दाखेरि it's not about how many people are watching you it's about what kind of people are watching you and if you can influence these few right people होइन and they're not many
one is enough
one is enough and 80-20 एउटा ऊ ल छ नि 80% of the work is done by 20% of the population के
I like that I've heard about that
if you could just reach to this 20% of the ऊ होइन decision makers I think we can influence a lot of people
definitely
मजा आयो ब्रो एकदमै I think we have covered a lot
एकदमै
कतिपय कन्भर्सेसन मेटामा पनि भयो we have talked a lot of things
amazing stuff
के छ जाँदै भन्न
no I think so everybody just do what you're doing try to be a little proud about your heritage your culture about your country I think pessimism is good when you're trying to execute something but try to have some optimism as well when it comes to perceiving our nation भनौँ न that's important
अनि your event is happening on 27th
once upon a time in Kathmandu it's happening Octave Darbarmark tickets are on eSewa you can get it from Hankook Sarang Thomel Hankook Sarang Noksal New Barber every locations you can go get the tickets from there
it's happening on
27th September Friday
time
6 p.m. onwards.
6 p.m. Octave Darbarmark.
Ekdam. Get a glimpse of the heritage.
Amazing. Thank you so much, bro.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure.
Same here.
For everybody who is watching this, of course, podcast just two of us talking, but there are amazing people behind the camera, behind the computer screen, making sure कि सबै कुरा grips right छ होइन so
shout outs.
Thanks to our team, thanks to our company Viewfinders, which is a production company. And a marketing company which is producing a lot of this content. So if you want to start your own podcast, we are one of the largest podcast producers in the country. If you want to activate your YouTube channel, LinkedIn, Facebook, we have LinkedIn as service, YouTube as service. So त्यस्तो के गर्न मन छ भने definitely there is a link below. Reach out to us. We can definitely help you activate your social handles. यति भन्दै we'll be back again with another amazing guest, another amazing conversation. Till then, you guys take care. Bye-bye.